our first cleanup was October 1970.
The way that all the water becomes the water moving right through me. The river runs and connects me to the sea. The raindrop falls.
Well, there's various kinds of debris along the banks. There were areas of considerable accumulation of trash.
So how much did you pull out?
There it is. Would you like to measure it? How would you quantitate something like that? I don't know.
One of the things we had to do along the way was to work for the combination of the park board and the recreation board.
The head of the park board
Yeah.
opposed it because he felt that, I don't know if he felt this, but he said, in the fact that young people would come down here and sin.
We move together. We ride this river. We become the water and go on forever.
One of the purposes of all of this, of carving this trail out of the hillside, was to get people oriented toward the river and toward using this as a recreational resource, and to come down here more frequently instead of using it as something just to ignore or to throw trash into.
The water rushing over me becomes the rain tomorrow. It falls upon the broken ground.
So we found out that getting involved in city politics was very important.
We spend our lives drifting down the river, her liquid arms keeping us afloat. We walk the path of those who came before us. Into this path our currents we devote. We move together. We ride this river. We become the water and go on forever.
Well, the public was more aware when Rachel Carson came out with her book in 1962, Silent Spring. Before that, I can remember when I was a student in college that the chemistry professor had made some DDT, and he had gotten a big 3-inch long cockroach out of the, probably the cafeteria, and put it in there, and the cockroach had died. And so that was, oh, look what this does, you know, sort of thing. So there were federal laws on water pollution control passed in the 1950s, and the method was to have a federal enforcement conference, and the states involved decided that, you know, this and this and this needed to be done, and then they all went home and nobody had any money to do it, so nothing happened. So bless the Cuyahoga River for catching fire, June 22nd, 1969, but was in Time magazine, an issue where everybody bought it because they wanted to find out about Kennedy and the incident at Chappaquiddick. Yeah. So that was in June 22nd, 1969, and by November of 1969, Congress had passed the National Environmental Policy Act, which is the one that requires environmental impact statements. 1970 was the Clean Air Act. 1972 was the Clean Water Act and the Coastal Zone Management Act. 1974 was RCRA, which was solid waste and recycling. And 1976 was the hazardous waste. Yeah. There's no danger of running out of things to do. Yes. And I'm always delighted when young people, and there are some outstanding young people to take over.
I'll never know all is well.
No, we can do better than this. And they found out that the establishment wasn't willing to do it, so that's why they sort of went against the establishment. Because they weren't doing what we thought had to be done. Time has proven us to be right, and their sort of old-fashioned ideas to be wrong. So.
And then I became very passionate about saving land before it became developed. And so as part of being on the park board, that was my passion, was to help set aside parkland for everybody's future use in the city. They called me the land baron. So I was at the dedication of Plum Creek with Ernie Miller. He was a wonderful man. He was a landscaper.
My colleague Bob Stokes and I would go up there with Ernie. And we were at the time where I guess about 40, 45 years old. And here's Ernie, 80 years old, and he worked us right into the ground. I mean, this guy could put in a day and a half work.
Had the vision, although Hugh Taylor had the vision. Hugh Taylor and Terry McCoy from Kent State, and Ernie Miller from the Men's Garden Club worked so hard.
We really needed money for the solid waste management program that Ruth Mead had started, the recycling center essentially. You know, we thought people weren't going to get really excited about giving to a recycling center, so we decided to put something very visible in the program, which was to do a beautification program for Kent. And we thought that would really catch on, and some of the money would go to that, and we explained to people some money would also go to these other projects, most principally the recycling center. So we decided to beautify Haymaker Parkway, which had unfortunately not been done when they originally put the parkway in.
Ruth pushed, I think, harder than anybody else for it. And I often said that Ruth did not have volunteers. She had conscripts. And you came down here and helped work on the park when she said, it's time to come down and work on the park.
And she made the principal initiative in establishing the recycling program. And she established the recycling program when it was actually operated here by the Kent Environmental Council. And then, of course, that was absorbed into the solid waste district program for the county and became the recycling center now that gives our community-wide recycling. There's a memorial down there in the Tannery Park, and we are expecting to have her son, who is an environmental lawyer in Washington, to come and speak to us at our 40th anniversary dinner in late October. So we'll have to do some landscaping on Ruth's memorial stone there, and I think we'll get some people working on that now.
And Davy Tree Company donated these for everyone at the dinner. Everyone at the dinner.
Basis might be a good policy, or some central meeting. Yes, let me finish, please. And they either a central meeting or decentralized meetings in the township. Yes.
Very valuable water resources in Franklin Township. So it's, as I say, the system is perfectly legal campaign contributions. water bill. The municipal structures were inadequate to deal with the corpocracy, with the corporate interests that are, moving in on us.
And there is a good article, I'll have to bring it next week. But the thing that I learned from that if you think about pollution from the drilling and the brine and the chemicals they put down, there's also
that all the water becomes the water moving right through me. The river runs and connects me to the sea. The raindrop falls down into the stream flows into the ocean. These currents are a part of me and echo in my motion. We spend our lives drifting down the river, her liquid arms keeping us afloat. We walk the path of those who came before us. Into this path our currents we devote. We move together, we ride this river, we become the water and go on forever. The river never stops within the stillness of emotion, but when within the river breaks, we're right back to the ocean. The water rushing over me becomes the rain tomorrow. It falls upon the broken ground and heals all earthly sorrow. We spend our lives drifting down the river, her liquid arms keeping us afloat. We walk the path of those who came before us. Into this path our currents we devote. We move together, we ride this river, we become the water and go on forever.